Welcome back to Omaha Unsupervised. I'm your host, Austin Dunham. Wow, the news in December has been bleak. So, in place of a monologue, I figured a little Christmas poem to lift our holiday spirits would be a good fit. One day, the show will be consistent. You know about Santa, the elves and their cheer, making, creating, and crafting all year. But here's a fact you might not have known about the job an elf gets when an elf is full grown. It's not picked by Santa, by family or friends. They go to the mail chute and a letter descends. Inside the letter, a request they will find. Based on the request, their job is assigned. Doing it this way keeps everything neat. It's luck of the draw, no need to compete. It ensures all the gifts are trendy and new, like Pokemon cards or Nintendo Switch 2s. The unfortunate part about the job an elf gets, they work one job for life, and an elf never quits. And because elf jobs are based off a child's request, some jobs the elves get are wild at best. While most work inside, making gadgets at tables, some are sent outside, shoveling shit in the stables. The request these elves got came from rural kids' heads. Take care of the reindeer, make sure they're well fed. Some girls request diamonds, some boys request gold, so elves work in the mines until they grow old. Kids send their wishes, their wants and their prayers answered. There's a whole elf department that works to cure cancer. One elf got a job that he does but he dreads. Help mommy and daddy sleep in the same bed. Each year he does this. What does this elf do? As it turns out, elves are unicorns too. Magic's not magic without someone behind, pulling the levers and losing their mind. So next time you write Santa, be careful and think. Will my request push an elf off the shelf or the brink? Because dreams come with costs, though wrapped up just right. An elf does it nicely every Christmas night. Thank you so much. We have a great show for you tonight. We've got a fantastic guest. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much. You know him from the back line. You know him from your favorite Twitch streams, commentating in all the Smash commentary, going to places like MomoCon, doing improv festivals in Florida, in Seattle. Your favorite, Rodney Conyers Jr. Welcome to the studio, everybody.
I'm going to play a song. I've been working on a lot of musical theater stuff. I know we talked a little bit about that, but I haven't really shared any personal songs before, so this is a first for me. So, hey, that's what improv is all about, getting up there and just doing it and seeing what happens. Could you play me like this? I have a feeling that's coming to stay. I'm stewing in it, and now I'm thinking those thoughts. Am I at fault? There's no way. But I need to see about it. But karma's taking way too long, and I can't sleep at night knowing where I went wrong. Should probably get back because I need some get back. Have you lost your mind? You're playing with me. This is the last time. I need some retribution, so I have a solution. It doesn't matter what day, what time of year. I'm on the way. So how this is going to work? Can I stand up?
Yeah.
No? Okay, I gotta sit.
no.
Okay, no worries. I got a couple minutes. I just need some words. KPAO, cause it's the channel, and it's Rod and it's Austin. I just played the piano, so what's next, man? Yo, give me the next verb. Yo, somebody out there, give me the next word.
Running.
I mean jogging. I like to jog to clear up the head fog, and sometimes I like to jog on the street. Sometimes I like to jog when I use my feet. I'm running and it's on the sidewalk. I do it real fast. No time for side talk. No time for chit chat. So what's coming? Yo, Austin Dunham, yo, give me the word. What's up?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, yo. And here's what I found. Really cool hat. Guess what, man? Santa Claus coming to town. Here with the present, but sometimes in the past. And yo, Santa Claus, please leave me some cash.
Oh. Let's go with fight.
And yo, I need us to understand. I come in peace, but I'm really about these hands. I love everybody just like a brother. Sometimes I like to beat up brothers and mothers and sons and daughters and everybody. Animals that walk on land and like to swim in the water.
Coal.
Here's the coal. Here's a whole lump. Yo, these rhymes might get me in a slump. So check it out, man. Here's what it's gonna be. I hope there's no coal under my Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hold on, here it is. Wait, watch this. Done.
Awesome. Give Rodney a round of applause, everyone. Oh my gosh. Great job, Rodney. Rodney, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you for having me.
Super excited that you're here. You know, I did not know that you played piano. When did you start playing piano?
You know, it's funny. This was about 2012. So to rewind a little bit, I started playing instruments in like the 3rd grade when it became like accessible in public schools. Because I think up until like a certain age, you just can't do extracurricular instruments. And so I played trumpet for a little bit. And then what ended up happening was I was blowing so hard on the trumpet that my lips would swell. So I ended up playing the baritone. But if anybody knows anything about the baritone, this instrument is so big, and I had to lug this thing to school every day. And mind you, in middle school, I am maybe 100 pounds. So I'm carrying something that weighs almost as much as me. So anyway, all that to say, I fell out of love with music, at least playing it at that level for a long time. But in the age of the internet, I was able to keep that musical muscle strong by exploring different sorts of sounds. And 2009 to 12, everybody was a hologram. There was a hologram Michael Jackson, a hologram Tupac. And what did it was a hologram Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
Yeah, so Party Queen performed at the 2012 Olympics. They performed at Wembley Stadium like they did all those years ago. And so it was hologram Freddie Mercury, Jesse J, Roger Taylor on the drums, and Brian May on the guitar. And so Freddie Mercury comes out, he does his vocal improvs. I was like, who is this guy? This guy's awesome. Why am I singing along with the hologram? And I looked him up. I was like, oh, this is the same guy that sings We Are the Champions, We Will Rock You, Under Pressure. But he has such a dynamic voice, I never pieced it together as a kid.
Oh.
And so I was like,
sure.
Piano. I think I'm gonna give it a try.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And you're playing, you're doing piano, you're putting together a new improv team.
Yep.
Right, a new musical improv team. We talked about that a little bit before. Could we do, we're on a rap team, Zips Opera. It's super fun. I'm glad that you got some freestyle.
Of course.
I think that freestyling is a great way for people to get into improv.
Yeah.
Do you have, I usually get asked the question as a freestyler, how do you do that? So my question to you is, do you think being a better improviser makes you a better freestyler, or do you think better freestyler makes you a better improviser?
It's funny. I think, that's a good question. I think it should be the improvising kind of helps with the freestyling, because I think what happens when people freestyle is that they freeze and they're like, I can't think of the next word. Improv kind of helps you move through that. But I was kind of brought up the other way around, where like I spent a lot of time at the barbershop, a lot of time at the playgrounds, just like people are playing beats and we're just rapping. And granted, I'm in like the 3rd or 4th grade. I'm not good at all. But what I think is happening is that musical muscle in your brain I talked about from before, at such a young age, is easy to shape. So it's shaping itself to become strong. And so then, when somebody shines the rap back signal in the sky, like, Rod, it's time to improvise and rap, I'm like, I'm already ready. Right. A lot of people don't know. I didn't take a lot of improv classes before we started. Yeah, I didn't take a lot of improv classes, man.
Okay.
I think I did maybe 1 or 2 with Dylan. Big shout out to Dylan, of course, at the back line. Awesome guy. And then I moved to Jersey for a handful of years.
Okay.
Yep, I was doing some stuff with Freestyle Love Supreme.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that. So you took classes before you moved to Jersey?
Yep, I took a couple. I think I may have taken 1. And again, Dylan really encouraged me to do it because I knew him from the karaoke space.
Okay.
So he was like, you should come do comedy, man. You should come rap. You're great. And I was like, dude, you're great. I would love to keep rapping with you.
That's interesting. I didn't know that you were. I knew you went to New Jersey, but I didn't realize that you had actually started your comedy and kind of artistic journey here before going out there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's super awesome. Do you have any recommendations for people trying to make it in this space?
You know what? Yeah, I think when it comes to rap, you just have to really immerse yourself in it, because the more you listen to it, just like any form of music, the more you listen to, I think, hip hop, it builds a natural metronome inside of you.
Okay.
And that's why like it can be easier to rap fast and stuff like Twister or Busta Rhymes. If you really, really want to slow it down to a crawl and really let the people hear what you're saying, like somebody like a Ludacris or somebody. And I mean, I'm aging myself. I'm sure there's younger guys who do this, but those are the guys I came up on. You just have to really start listening to it. Just throw yourself in.
Immerse yourself.
Immerse yourself.
Immerse yourself. Well, other than your musical creative work, your comedic creative work, you also do something that's really fascinating to me. The first time that I ever mentioned you to my friends, I said, I did a show with this guy named Rodney, Conyers Jr. Super funny. We did a rap show together.
Yeah.
And they were like, Rodney? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, this guy. And they sent me a picture. And it was you. And you were commentating a Super Smash Brothers game.
Yep.
So for folks who don't know, Super Smash Brothers, huge video game, huge fighting game featuring all your favorite characters from the Nintendo saga of worlds. I think Steve's in there, right? They got Minecraft and all that stuff.
Don't remind me. Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah. So how do you enter a space like that? Of course, I also hear you are a Pokemon master.
I am a Pokemon professor.
A professor.
Yep. At a young age, I think I realized it's important to just stay creatively curious. Keep asking questions. Keep trying new things. Even if you don't stick with it, as I'm sure every kid has tried something, skateboarding, violin, whatever, and they didn't stick with it. And I'm sure it drives every parent up the wall. I just spent $300 on a violin. You don't even play it anymore. Luckily, my thing was Pokemon cards, so much cheaper. But,
are they cheaper?
Let me rephrase that. When you can get it at Walmart and people aren't fighting over them, they are cheaper. You got to buy them secondhand. Then you are paying as much as you would for a nice violin.
Okay.
But yeah, you just have to stay creatively curious. Anything that piques your interest, anything that really speaks to your soul, just explore it. And I think I did a lot of that as a kid. I think you and I are about the same age, that golden age sweet spot of like where we're at as young people, and then the internet. Before the internet became an unpleasant place, back then you used to be able to look at pictures of art and cards and kittens, remember that? And everything is AI schlop. But yeah, I love Pokemon as a kid. I love Super Smash Brothers as a kid. And I realized the connective piece between all the things that I do is community. And I know you and I talked a little bit about how important that is, but just, I love jumping in with other people and just, let's build this thing together. Let's do what human beings do.
I think, community is, that's what makes it, right?
Yeah.
It was shocking to me when my friends were like, they know this guy that's from a community that I have not really interacted with, right? It totally took me aback. I was like, whoa, I was like, okay, I know you guys from online.
Right.
You're getting too personal. Don't dox me, all right? Getting a little too close for who are you?
Hey, we're outside, knock.
But it's so interesting to me how small the world is. I bet you can attest to this, just how many people you're able to meet by doing these things, the power of networking. It really is super interesting. And how long have you been doing? How long have you been a commentator?
This would be year 11.
Year 11?
It'll be 11 years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remind you, I was not always good. I was super booty at first. And you know what, depending on who you ask, because again, commentary, like anything, is a performance art. Some people are like, oh, I love Rod's work. And then there's some people that are like, hey, I'm the president of the I Hate Rod fan club. Everybody has different of opinions on that. But yeah, it was 11 years. And at the start, it was very It just taught me a lot about myself. I'm glad I did it in my early 20s.
Okay.
I took a lot of mega buses, slept on a lot of mega buses.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 10 hours from Omaha to Chicago back before the pandemic killed that. You used to be able to, take it for $50 one way and then $1 the other way from Chicago.
Wow.
Yep. Slept on my cousin's couch a lot in Chicago, just on the off chance that they were available. I took a lot of really bad Frontier flights. You know how bad Frontier is, man. I mean, they'll strap you to the plane if they have to. We're going to get you there. We're going to get you there, pal. But I had to do what I had to do because there was something inside of me. And I think every creative goes through this where like, I have to trust that the cards will play out in my favor. Even if I don't know the hands, I know that if I keep at this, I keep networking. If I keep just loving the fact that I'm given the opportunity to do this, like I'm happy to be present in this moment in good health, in good faith, to be at this event, to be able to even do it in the first place. Right.
I mean, the opportunity, like you said, a lot of creatives, they are concerned about getting paid, about getting, making money. And that is important, right? I do like to try and pay artists if I can. And I think artists understand that artists are broke.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
But you're totally right about the exposure, being paid in exposure. I think when I went to Chicago for school, I think that was what opened me up. Yeah. The world, this is possible. Sure. Right. You've got so many different creatives coming together in this space, working. They're diligent. They're creating. They're hungry. Having these interactions, these conversations, and it's developing them as artists. Yeah. And I mean, it's super important. So that's that frontier, those frontier flights sound rough.
Oh my God, and like the 15-hour layovers in like cities you never even heard of. Like, where am I, man? Like, and this coming from somebody from Omaha. Like, I mean, you ask the average person, where's Omaha on the map? They're going to be like, what the heck is that? But I mean, I'm in some really weird places. Right. And I think that's kind of, because you were where you just did MomoCon. Yeah. Or when was that? MomoCon was Memorial Day, so we did that last year. And funnily enough, I actually ended up getting a slightly different position there this previous year. So I've always existed as like a commentator, as an MC, but this last year I was able to be, and I don't know exactly, I'm really bad with titles, but some sort of associate producer of the esports area. Basically, what I was really focused on was just helping people get opportunities. That's awesome. I commentate all the time. I go to a lot of events, but there's people who want to commentate. They want that opportunity. They want that shot. And if I had to take 500 megabuses to get where I want to, be in this crazy space, let me help you cut it down to like 100. I want to do that for people. So
I think it's important. You build the avenues, right? As creatives, you take all this time developing your craft, but you also like develop your way, kind of. And so, being able to help point people in the right direction, it's honorable. It's nice. It is. And it says something, I think, about your personality and creative. I know you've reached out to me when I've expressed, struggle publicly. Sure. And it's awesome the way that you're able to connect with people. I see it in everyone that you perform with. I mean, we've done tons of shows together.
We have. It took us a while, though.
It did take us a while.
We were on the same team for like 2 years, and we just had never met until the last Comedy Fest.
Right. Well, and actually, it was so funny. My parents actually went to a show, and they sat in the front row, and you actually freestyle rapped about my dad. Like, it was like, I feel like it was some sort of diss. He's over there laughing right now, but it was some sort of like diss. I don't know.
Iowa jacket. Was it the Iowa jacket? Yes. That's what it was. Okay. Got it. Sorry about that.
No, they loved it. They loved it. They thought it was hilarious. They came back and they're like, yeah, we saw this guy, he was rapping. He started rapping to dad. It was, and the way they were talking about it, they loved it. It was so fun. And I thought it was so cool to, just the way that you have that rapport, not only with the people that you work with, but how you develop it with your audience. Yeah. I've seen clips of you, and there's actually a clip that's in your reel. We don't have the clip tonight, but I want to talk about it because it says something about how you deal with kind of these type of people. You're interviewing a Smash Bros player, and they destroy the competition. Yeah. And it's like, I can't remember what the exchange was like. I think you were like, how do you feel about you winning? And they're like, well, of course I was going to win. I'm the best. What was that Smash player's name?
That was Zomba.
Was
the best Rob in the world. He plays Rob. Big robot character in Super Smash Brothers.
He's the best Rob in the world?
He's the best one. Of everybody who plays Rob on planet Earth, he's the best one statistically. He has the stats to back it up. And funnily, in that interview, He actually ended up winning the whole tournament. So that event was Genesis, which is like the Super Bowl for Super Smash Brothers in our space.
Okay.
Yep. So, I mean, if there was ever a stage to talk some trash, it was certainly that one. And he walked the walk and he talked the talk that evening. But, you know, at these events, you know, I get to play a multitude of different roles. Most creators, we just get bored in the space. Yeah. I've been commentating for so long, let's try something new. Oh, well, you want to MC? Let's MC. All right, that's cool. What's next? Try interviewing. So, you know, I have been interviewing maybe half the time of commentary, and he was one of my better interviews, you know. He just, Rod, I got a lot to say. I got a lot of trash to talk. I was like, you know what? You're the protagonist. That right there was my first unk moment. Like, I'm not the protagonist anymore. Zamba is.
Zamba is.
He backed it up.
Do you think it's important for players at that level to be able to speak to their community in a way that is like, yes, this is my skill, this is where I'm at, like, because I know trash talking is very prominent in gaming circles. Yeah. Right?
You got to talk.
Is that a skill they need? Do you think it's helpful? Like, is it?
I think, you know, if the trash talk is any sort of indicator of, you know, how confident you are, then that's okay. Everybody handles confidence differently. I mean, I hosted karaoke for a handful of years at the Down Under Lounge, and there were some guys and gals who were like, me being confident is me singing this one song that I sing in my shower to my shampoo bottles. They have heard this song a million times. I'm singing it to you. Right. And it's Love Shack, it's Miss Roboto, it's The Circle of Life, it's whatever they choose. And then for other people, it's best Rob in the world, and I need to, you know, really let that confidence out by letting the world know I'm better than you. You know, and everybody loves a good narrative. Everybody loves you know, okay, this is the good guy. This is the bad guy. This is the vigilante. This is supporting. Like, everybody likes that. And I think in that evening, he was like, I'm going to win this. I'm okay being the bad guy.
That's awesome, I think. As a person who's not great at video games, who plays a lot of them, I think it's cool to see people succeed in that space. So I want to talk a little bit more, because you mentioned the buses. You mentioned talking those 10-hour buses. I know the Amtrak. They've got the Amtrak. That's a 12-hour train ride.
Yes, it is.
Not great. What were those days like when you were starting out? Like, were they okay? Were they, you know, because obviously you've been doing commentary for 11 years. You're creative. You're an artist. You're doing so much. We've only got so much time. How do you choose what events you're doing, and how did your path look coming up?
Well, you know, it started as like anything, you know, you're using the internet and you're seeing other people who are doing the things that you want to do at much higher levels. So it's letting you know right away, this is where you're at. This is where you want to be. You know, it's that moment of, oh, that's what that's supposed to look like. Got it. Now, what do I need to do to get better? And I just kept practicing, man. You know, I would mute matches on YouTube and commentate over them. I'd commentate in the shower. I commentate in the mirror, like, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to whatever tournament. I'm Rod. This is awesome. We're about to bring you the act. I mean, just every single day over and over and over until, you know, it became a part of myself. And as far as like choosing the gigs, I mean, when you're from Nebraska, you know, you just kind of take whatever gigs you can get. You know, I started in the city. You know, I'd go like Omaha, Lincoln, and then it went like Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas. Like, it became more of a regional thing. And then I just set my sights on some tournaments in Chicago, which is where the mega buses came into play. And not the best rides in the world, not the most comfortable rides, but, you know, there were 3 stops between Omaha and Chicago and Wi-Fi. So, and back then I didn't have a working phone. I was strictly living off the Wi-Fi because I wasn't making a lot of money. So, yeah, I had a conversation once. It's funny we bring this up. I worked an event at Thunder Studios, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember this gentleman's name, but I was there for a week, and I worked the gig, and I couldn't even really afford to go back home that next week, so I had to stay a whole extra week just to get a cheaper flight. So I needed to go pick up my check. I drive from downtown Hollywood to Long Beach is where Thunder Studios was, and I didn't have a working phone with internet, so like I'm just like trying to read the signs on like how to get to this area of California. Mind you, I'm a boy from the country. And so I finally get there and I meet this gentleman. He's sitting at a desk just like this, and he goes, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm just here to pick up my check. And like he could see that it's like to somebody in Nebraska. And he like looked down and he looked up, he goes, no, what are you really doing here? It's almost like when Magneto asked Pyro, like, what's your real name? And it's like, it's, you know, and I'm like, I'm just chasing a dream. He said, you know, you're the only guy on the bill from Omaha. Your guys from Chicago, Minnesota, you know, New York, whatever, like
you know, they're very good at what they do, but they have this in their backyard. He said, do you ever feel like you have to fight twice as hard? I was like, yeah, I do actually, because being so far away from all these opportunities, this could be my last time.
Yeah.
I have to stay hungry.
Yeah. Do you think that the fight is ever something that you will be afraid of?
You know, sometimes you are a little haphazard, like, oh my God, like, can I really pull this off? I mean, even just doing this, I was like, I gotta play the piano, rap, and then do the interview, like, can we pull this off? And, you know, there's nothing to it but to do it. And not to be cliche, but you have to just do it.
Right.
You'll never know until you do it. You can crunch, I mean, you could be Batman about the numbers. You know, if I do this and I carry the X and I, you know, solve for this and and if you could get everything in a row, all that matters is doing it. You'll never actually know until you try. And also being okay with failure from the fight. There have been some gigs that I've worked where I was like, that wasn't my best work. I tried. Right. Don't know if I'm gonna get another opportunity. And the opportunity rolls back around again, and you're like, kill it this time, crush it. That's so impactful.
That's awesome. We only got a little bit more time left, but Rod, for the people out there, where can they see you perform? If you're performing where are you connected at?
Which camera's mine? Which one is it again?
This
one. Okay. The Backline Comedy Theater on Harney Street downtown. If you're from Omaha, Nebraska, it is like the one-stop shop for all things funny here in Omaha, Nebraska. If you love improv, sketch,
and that's where you're performing.
Yep, performing at the Backline, but also on YouTube as well. I mean, I have YouTube channels, but I also commentate on other people's channels, which is where these broadcasts exist. So that's VG Bootcamp, that's Even Matchup Gaming. That's BTS Smash, that's Evo, CEO Gaming, DreamHack. I mean, all these channels, PAX. I mean, there's so many events that I've had the absolute pleasure of working in. Yeah, just check them out.
That is awesome. And what's your next event?
So my next event is an event in Indiana called Afterburner. It is a super duper awesome, you know, Smash event. You know, it's my first time going. Nice. They're going to give out some awards for that. Let's make big moves in New York. You know, it's always good as a creative to be back in New York, right?
Awesome.
And last but certainly not least, there's some improv festivals that we're looking forward to. So,
well, Rodney, that is fantastic. Thank you for being on the show with us tonight. It's been a pleasure. You know, I always love working with you. I'm glad that I got to see some original music from you. I'm glad to hear about your path coming up. I can't wait to look out for those events and see what all my friends have to say about your commentating. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you here tonight. Check us out next month for our guest, the amazing Arthur. We're having a magician on, people, so let's make some magic happen, all right? Thank you so much, and happy holidays from us at KPAO.
Christmas. Well, it's Christmas time, pretty baby. Snow is falling on the Christmas. Christmas. Yeah, it's Christmas time, pretty baby. Snow is falling on the Christmas. Christmas. You'll be real good. Santa Claus like a time. Christmas. Christmas. Well, I got no sleigh.